Welcome in the video lecture of fluid mechanics at the platform of AKTU Digital Education. Myself Anubodh Dwivedi. In this video lecture, we will be discussing about the introduction, basic concepts and properties of fluid. For the introduction, before we move further, to understand the concepts of the fluid, first of all we have to understand about the fluid, that what is fluid, how it is different from the solid. So, it will create the clear conception about the fluid. So, it will come into the introduction, then we will come into the basic concept, that how many types of fluid can be categorized majorly, the liquid concepts, the gas concepts, and then after we will move to the important properties of the fluid. Other than this, the properties like surface tension and the effect of surface tension will also be discussed in this video lecture. The effect of surface tension like capillarity will be discussed here. Okay, so let us start with the fluid. Before moving further, let us understand what is a fluid. A fluid deforms continuously under the influence of shear stress, no matter how small the stress is. What does it mean? It means that in the fluid substance, if we apply a smaller shear stress, this will deform continuously. And how it will be deforming? Let us have a look. Suppose that we have an elementary volume of fluid here and we are applying a shear stress which is tangential, okay, which is tangential to the area of the elementary volume. Then if it is a fluid, it will deform in the manner like this. So, we can observe there is a slight deformation also, and the top layer is moved in this direction. Then this slight deformation will be continuous under the action of influence of shear stress, no matter how smaller we have applied the shear stress at this point. This we can say that when we apply the load, means this value, the shear stress, when we apply this, then what happens? The certain amount of resistance created, and the resistance per unit area can be termed as what? Shear stress. Like if it is a load per unit area, due to this load there will be certain amount of resistance will be occurred, and this can be termed as shear stress. Whereas in case of solid, the continuous deformation will not take place. The deformation, there will be slight movement at this point may occur, but continuous deformation will not take place. What happens? In the solid, when we apply the same load, there is no actual movement. Let us have look. If it is the elementary volume of solid, we have taken a solid block here, okay, and same load we are applying tangential to the area on this body. Then what happens? Then it will slightly deform, but there will no continuous deformation takes place. The entire body comes in equilibrium after slight movement, okay. Means this layer, these are the above layers, these are the layers which are at the top. This layer will move in this direction, and we can see if this is the layer and the layer below this will be moved in this manner and so and forth, okay. So, we have seen the entire body comes in equilibrium after slight movement. When the value of P, but this can also be deformed, and when it will be deformed? It will be deformed when the value of shear force is greater than a certain value. And what is that certain value? That certain value depends on the material of solid, and then only it can be deformed. Means we have applied this P, okay, load. Let us, this P is greater than that certain value which we have assumed on the basis of the material of this body, that this P is greater than Ps, then only it will take permanent deformation, otherwise it will not take permanent deformation. But what happens in the fluid? We have seen even after a small application of shear force, the continuous deformation takes place. So, this is the major difference between the fluid and solid, along with other differences which will be discussed further. But right now we can understand this is the major difference, that even after a slight movement, even after a slight movement, there will be what? There will be deformation in the fluid, but in the solid there will be no deformation by small shearing force. Okay. So, this was the major difference. If we ask about the major difference between fluid and solids, then we can understand that no matter how a small shear force is applied on the fluid, it will go continuous deformation. But in case of solid, we need net shearing load, that is the force which we have applied here, that must be greater than what? That must be greater than the certain value of the shear force which is applied, and then only it can be deformed, otherwise after a slight movement it will again come to the equilibrium. So, after clarification of the difference between the major, which is the major difference between the fluid and solid, we can discuss the types of fluid. There are the types of fluid which can be majorly categorized into two types, the liquid and the gas. Okay. So, as we all know that the volume is the function of pressure and temperature. If that is the volume of liquid or solid, this is the function of pressure and time. So, it means how much volume of the liquid body or gas body we have, it totally depends upon the temperature or the pressure. Let us understand this point. Okay. Let us have a look. In case of liquid, what happens? We have a container here in which the fluid is filled up to this level. Okay. The fluid is filled up to this level and the container is like this. So, we can see that if this is the container, we can see this interface, and above this point, above this line, the container is empty, means it has some free space, it has some free space. Okay. This is the liquid. In case of liquid, we have some free space, means what we can observe from here? We can observe that volume of container, if we take that volume of container is greater than the volume of liquid. Okay. The volume of container is greater than the volume of liquid. But in case of gas, there is some other things. If you observe the figure, if you look at this point, we can see that in liquid the the molecules are closely compacted, the molecules are close with each other and we have the free space into the container, but in the gas the molecules are far away. Okay. Those molecules are spread all over the container. We can understand by this molecular arrangement diagram here. This is the case for the liquid. The water molecules are closely compacted, but in case of gas, the entire container, the gas and will take the entire container and molecules are far away and their intermolecular activity is less frequent. So, what does it mean? I have told you before a minute that volume of container is greater than volume of liquid in case of liquid, when the container is not filling completely. Okay. The molecules are closely packed in compare of what? Gas, and are in random motion, whereas in case of gas the volume of gas will take the entire container and the molecules are far away, and there will be the intermolecular activity in case of gas, that will be the less frequent. So, keeping this in mind, now we will discuss that we have understood that what is the fluid, we have understood the difference between the fluids and solid, we have also seen the fluid types, means major categorization, that is the liquid and the gas. Now, we will come to know the fluid mechanics, that what does the fluid mechanics deals with. Then in the understanding of the concept, we can say that the fluid mechanics is the branch which deals with the behavior of fluids at rest as well as in motion, and the interaction of fluid with the solid or other fluids at the boundaries. Okay. Let us understand this point. The fluid, let us suppose there is a mass of fluid which is flowing into any container or any reservoir or any structure, then we have to deal with the behavior of fluid. What does the behavior means? We have to find out the force which is exerted on the fluid by the fluid to the structures. We have also consider the different parameters while it is moving. If it is flowing, then the same parameters will be derived, and if it is at rest, then also we can derive the same parameter. So, we can see there are two different states, that either it is moving or it is at rest. So, when we deal with the fluid at rest, then this is called fluid statics, and when we deal with fluid in motion, then it is called fluid dynamics. Okay. So, fluid dynamics can also be classified on the basis of their area of application based on the different conditions, which means at what conditions that is incompressible or not, then on the basis of that the fluid dynamics is further classified in two different hydrodynamics and hydraulics. Okay. So, if you will look at the picture here shown, which is showing the water flow through a diverging cone, you can observe from this point, then in this cone you see at the inlet the water is entering and at the outlet water is coming out, but there is no change in the density. So, it means the density is constant, means what? Means the fluid is incompressible all over the journey. Okay. So, hydrodynamics deals in this condition, and the other one, that is we can say hydraulics, is the subcategory of hydrodynamics. Okay. In this category, what does happen, that we are dealing with the flow in pipes or open channels. Okay. When we are dealing with the flow in pipe or flow in open channels, means under the atmospheric pressure like this, then here the atmospheric pressure is atmospheric, then we can say that this is the hydraulics study, and this is the subcategory of hydrodynamics. Okay. Now, come to the point of properties of fluid. Okay. There are many properties which we have to discuss about, but we will first focus on the 5 primary properties, that is important properties associated with the fluid, and that is the density. Okay. First, if we will talk about the density, then we can simply say that as density is the ratio of mass of fluid upon volume of fluid. Okay. So, this is simply the mathematically it is the ratio of mass to the volume, and if we will observe the unit, we can say that mass is measured in Newton and it can be in the meter cube. So, what will the unit form? It will form the unit of Newton per meter cube. Okay. This is the mathematical formation. Okay. Now, if we will look into the molecular arrangement, then we can see that mass of fluid, mass of liquid means what? Means the number of molecules. Okay. So, the number of molecules per unit volume, it is we are looking at the from the molecular arrangement point of view, then we can say that number of molecules means mass. Okay. So, number of molecules per unit volume in liquid is higher than that of gas, which we have observed in previous slides, that we have seen that in case of gas we have seen that number of molecules occupied which occupy the certain volume is less in case of gas, but in case of liquid the number of molecules occupied which occupied the certain volume is higher. So, we can say the density of liquid is greater than the density of gas, which is you can see here. Okay. Now, since we know that rho, that means the density is the function of pressure, and if we apply the pressure on liquid, its density does not changes, means the liquid is incompressible. Okay. You are applying a pressure, certain pressure, let us see, suppose that this is the molecules of the liquid which is closely compacted into this container. Okay. you apply certain pressure from the different directions. Okay, what will you see? There will be not any notable, or we can say there will be no change in the density of the liquid which is filled in this container. तो हम समझ सकते हैं कि this liquid is incompressible, and this is the major assumption we take. That is what? That is, we assume almost all the liquids as incompressible. But in case of gas, we can see that in case of gas, if we will look here, let us suppose in this body the molecules of gases are spread out far away. So, if we will apply the pressure from all over the direction on it, what we can observe? We will observe there will be the compression. The gases can be compressed by the application of pressure. So, in case of gas, we can say it can be compressed by the application of pressure, whereas in liquid it is incompressible. Okay. So, and the next property which we will discuss about is viscosity. Okay. So, while understanding the viscosity, the resistance provided by the movement of one layer of fluid to the movement of other layer is termed as viscosity. Okay. So, the movement of one layer by the resistance provided by the movement of one layer of fluid to the movement of other layer. Okay. So, in the figure where you can see the bottom layer having the velocity 0. Okay. The bottom layer's velocity is 0, and the most of the most above layer, which we can say the layer at the topmost, having the maximum velocity. So, if we will draw the velocity profile, then we can observe that the different layers have different velocity and top layers can move freely. So, while understanding the viscosity, this is simply the resistance provided by the movement of one layer of fluid to the movement of other layer. Okay. Then this resistance we can term as viscosity. Now, effect of temperature on the viscosity, we see that in case of liquid, as the temperature increases, we will increase the temperature, the viscosity will decrease, while in case of gas, as the temperature increases, the velocity also increases. Okay. So, this is the effect of temperature on the viscosity. We can see what is the changes in the viscosity while increasing the temperature or decreasing the temperature. Okay. Now, specific volume is the third property we can talk about, and it can be defined as the volume occupied by a unit mass or volume per unit mass of fluid. Okay. So, mathematically what we can represent? We can represent that volume of fluid upon mass of fluid can be termed as what? Specific volume. Okay. So, if we observe this formula, that volume of fluid upon mass of fluid, then in terms of density, we know that density is what? Density is mass of fluid upon volume. Okay. Mass of fluid upon volume, and if we will take the reciprocal of density, we will get this is the, we will get volume upon mass of fluid. So, we can say what? We can say that it is the specific volume is the reciprocal of what? Is the reciprocal of density, and since it is the reciprocal of density, we can see that volume is in the numerator, we can form the unit that meter cube per kg. Okay. Now, we will discuss about the specific weight, that what does specific weight means. So, specific weight is the ratio of weight of the fluid to its volume. It is just to be clear that the mass upon volume and the weight of the volume means in the specific weight we take the weight of the fluid upon volume of the fluid. Okay. So, if we will take the weight of the fluid means what? Weight of the fluid means you can say m into g, this will form the weight. Okay. And then volume. Then now we can see from here that this term, okay, mass upon volume is simply what? Rho, that is our density, and then we will multiply by the g, then this we can also say that it is the specific weight. Okay. So, specific weight is also termed as can be formulated as rho into g, and we know the density of water is 1000. So, if we will calculate the specific weight of the water, we will come to know that the 1000 will be multiplied by the g, that is 9.81, then 9810 Newton per meter cube will be the value. Okay. And the fifth property is specific gravity. So, it is defined as the we can say the ratio of density of fluid to the density of standard fluid. That is why it is also called relative density. There is a relation, means the ratio of the density of the we can say fluid and to the density of standard fluid. In case of liquid, we take water as a standard fluid, and in case of gas we take air as a standard fluid. So, we can say that the value of S for the liquid is density of liquid upon density of water. So, density of water is 1000 as we know. So, density of the liquid will become what? S into density of that is the water. Okay. So, the value of that density of liquid, if we will multiply the value of S with the density of water, we will get that. Okay. Now, after discussing these properties, there is other property which is called as surface tension, and we have there are various we can say effect of the surface tension we observe in our day to day daily life. Okay. So, let us understand what does surface tension means. Surface tension is defined as the tensile force acting on the surface of liquid in contact with a gas or on the surface. Okay. तो अगर किसी दो लिक्विड डिफरेंट है उसके बीच का जो कांटेक्ट है, या जो गैस के बीच और लिक्विड के बीच का जो कांटेक्ट है, या किसी अदर बॉडी और लिक्विड के बीच का जो कांटेक्ट है, ठीक है, उस पे जो आप कह सकते हैं कि जो टेंसाइल फोर्स एक्ट कर रहा है सरफेस पे लिक्विड के, then that can be termed as surface tension. Let us understand in detail about the surface tension. You can see here, okay, there are two important terms which brings in the picture while we are discussing the surface tension, that is cohesion and adhesion. Okay. So, what cohesion does? It enables a liquid to resist the tensile stress, means resist the tensile stress, means what? Means it tends to bring the contact in the intermolecular contact of the same type of the fluid, which means we can say if the water is there and it is resisting the tensile stress, means the the molecules of the waters are trying to get attracted, means get binded with each other. Okay. But in case of adhesion, it enables a liquid to adhere to another body, means suppose that if we are having here glass and there is a liquid filled in this, okay, then the this liquid will if tend to attract with the glass, then we can term as adhesion. Okay. Like we can take the example that water adhere with the glass or the water adhere with some other material, or we can say that the liquid to adhere to another body. Okay. The body could be some other material. Okay. So, at point in molecules inside the liquid, the pressure from all side would be same. If you will look at this picture, here we can say there is a point where the molecules from all side would be the same, and the resultants, it exerts equal force, and in all the directions, so the resultant will be cancelled out. But in case of this, I was discussing this case. Okay. But in case of other adhesion, in case of the molecules having on the surface interface water and vapor interface, we are seeing that these horizontal forces are cancelled with each other, but due to the vertical force there are some resultant force due to which it is forming a stress membrane. Okay. So, here we have seen there are due to the cohesion, due to the adhesion, there are the different interface we can at the interface there are the stretch membrane like shapes which occurred due to this is due to the surface tension. Okay. So, there is a very important property due to the surface tension which we can call as capillarity. Okay. So, for the understanding of capillarity, we can simply say this is the phenomena of rise or fall of liquid surface in fine tube, means this is the liquid contained in a water and the tube is inserted. The rise or the fall in this can be termed as the capillarity. Okay. And now, let us understand when the rise will takes place and when the fall will takes place. The cohesion, if the cohesion is less than the adhesion, the liquid in tube will rise, whereas for the vice versa, if the cohesion is more than the adhesion, then the liquid in tube will fall. And mathematically we can see if the theta is the angle of contact, the sigma is the surface tension we can say, and if the d is the dia of the tube which we have inserted and h is the height, then we can calculate the surface tension as we can observe from here that the upward force must be equal to the downward force. In since the angle of contact is theta, then for the upward force we can say sigma cos theta, and the pi d is the circumference of the length of meniscus we can say, because the surface tension force is per unit length. Okay. So, sigma pi d must be equal to the W, which is equal to mg, and by this formula using which we can find out the height of the rise or fall. Okay. If tube is entirely clean for water in glass, theta will be 0 degree, and for the mercury theta is equals to 140 degree. So, we have seen that for the value to find out the height, rise or fall in the surface tension, we have used the derivation, we have used the formula, and we have used the concept that the upward force must be equal to the downward force, which is equal to the weight. So, I hope that these are we have discussed the things is clear, and we have discussed the different properties of the fluid, and we have discussed the different introductions, the difference between the solid and the liquid, and the types of liquid, that is the types of fluid, that is the liquid and gas, and the concept of surface tension and the effect of surface tension, that is the capillarity. Okay. So, by understanding this, there are some examples in our day to day life of the capillarity, like if we went for the blood test, then the nurse come and prick at the finger, and then after putting the tube on the finger, it seems that the nurse is sucking the blood, the rise of that blood takes place. So, this is due to the capillarity. There are other, like we are writing from the nib. Okay. So, the ink which we are which is rising into the nib, it also the example of that is capillarity. So, we can see that there are different examples of capillarity in our day to day life. Thank you and very much.